one. So as everyone knows, Metallica put out Load and Reload, which was a double album released a year apart, which is weird. And it was 14 songs each, I think, maybe 13 on Reload. So it was 27 songs, and it was bloated. And they didn't want to cut any of their songs, so they made a double album. So a lot of people say that this album would have been a lot better if it was just one best of thing. And a few weeks ago, Andrew Slensko put out a video, basically the same kind of deal, where he said, okay, but what if it was like the Black Album? So I agree with a lot of his choices. I also disagree with a lot of his choices. So today I'm going to be making one great Load album. And I'm calling it Unload because we're going to unload a lot of the filler. Track 1 has got to be the lead single, so think Enter Sandman. So obviously Enter Sandman, King Nothing. I could have also put Slither here, but Slither is not that good. It's fine, but you know, they never play it live, so it's not a good single. King Nothing is literally just Enter Sandman again. It's got the same kind of song structure. It's got that big stadium rock vibe. It's so similar to Enter Sandman that he even says we're off to Never Neverland at the end of the song. So King Nothing is going at number 1. Number 2 is another obvious one. I'm putting Devil's Dance here. Devil's Dance is the heavy, grueling song like Sabbath True is. It's even in D standard. 3, I'm putting Fuel in place of Hooligan now. A lot of people have said, why don't you just put Fuel as the lead single, because that's like the most popular song on either album. I do agree with that. I just really wanted to put King Nothing as the lead single instead of Fuel. So I think really, because we're going to have 5 good singles in a row, this has got to go here if we're going to have it on the album. Now, I could put it at number 12. However, if I put it at number 12, that wouldn't be very single-worthy. You know, Struggle Within isn't that popular, and Fuel would not suffer that same fate. It would be like top of the pack. Number 4, the number 4 ballad in place of the Unforgiven. I could do Hero of the Day. I could do The House that Jack Built. I could do Bleeding Me. I could do Until It Sleeps. However, I'm going to do the most basic thing of all. I'm putting the Unforgiven 2 here. It's really, I don't really need to explain this. It's got another good single vibe. It's also just a really epic song. It's my second favorite Metallica song behind 1. And I think it does stack up pretty well to 1. I think it stacks up well to Sanitarium. I think it stacks up well to Fade to Black. Now, in place of Wherever I May Roam, Andrew Slensko put Fixer here. And I do like Fixer as a nice groovy song. However, it's not single-worthy like Wherever I May Roam was. And I also want to put the Outlaw Torn on the album. And I think Fixer and the Outlaw Torn can't coexist on one album because they're so similar to each other. So I had to choose the one I like the best, so Fixer is being cut off. So instead, and for another good single, I'm putting The Memory Remains here. I'm putting it here because it's got a nice groove to it like Wherever I May Roam did. It's kind of quick, it's kind of slow. So moving on to number 6, this is going to be in place of Don't Tread on Me. So you need a good mid-tempo, kind of heavy song, and that's going to be 2x4. 2x4 has attitude. If we're going for a Black Album, kind of 80s-esque Metallica, then it needs to have attitude. So number 7, I'm kind of deviating here from the whole Black Album deal. Number 7 would be Through the Never. However, Through the Never doesn't really have a successor on Load and Reload like a lot of the songs on the Black Album do. So I really just decided I was going to put a nice fast song here because we are going to go into ballad territory now. So I decided to put Prince Charming here. I like the song a lot. It's good, it's fast, it's heavy. I just really think it would fit well on this album. Now the placing is kind of weird. However, I couldn't really think of anywhere else to put it on this album except for maybe the number 9 spot. But I have something else in mind for the number 9 spot. Number 8 is going to be the big commercial ballad like Nothing Else Matters was. So really there's 3 things in mind: Bleeding Me, Hero of the Day, and Until It Sleeps. Bleeding Me is probably my second favorite song overall on both Load and Reload. I just couldn't find a spot to put it here because number 4, I really wanted to put Unforgiven 2 there. Number 8 has to be really popular, and Bleeding Me wasn't that popular. And Until It Sleeps, I have other things in mind for Until It Sleeps. So instead, we're putting Hero of the Day here. It's that major key, poppy song. It's got a little bit of go to it in the middle section and in the ending. Just really think it would work well here because it's a poppy song. Number 9, so after this we're really going to be going into ballad territory because there's going to be 2 ballads before the last song on the album. So I wanted to choose a song that had the last bit of go that this album would have for another 3 songs. I'm putting Better Than You here. I could have put Attitude here, but, you know, Attitude, it's not that good. Better Than You is a really good song. I listen to it a lot. It's heavy, it's got that, you know, cockiness that old Metallica had. So The God That Failed off of the Black Album, that was a really personal song. So I decided that I would put a personal song here for Hetfield. And that's going to be Until It Sleeps. It's got the same bass intro. It's got a bass intro like The God That Failed does. It's got a heaviness. It's got some kind of heaviness like The God That Failed did. It would also be a pretty popular song. You know, it's not a direct successor to The God That Failed. However, I think it fits the role good enough. It's short enough to put here. Number 11, so we're in the end game now. We only have 2 songs left. And remember when I said I wanted to put the Outlaw Tour on this album? This is where we're putting it. This is where My Friend of Misery would have gone, and Andrea Veslensko said that this could be a good place for Where the Wild Things Are because it has a Jason Newsted writing credit and it could be a good instrumental. But, you know, I don't really see that. I don't like Where the Wild Things Are that much. And also, there's just something about the Outlaw Torn. It's epic, and My Friend of Misery was the epic of the Black Album, whether you like it or not. So I think the Outlaw Torn would have been really good here. Now, of course, in a perfect world, we would be able to have the entire unencumbered song, as they like to call it. However, if it's going to fit on a CD, it's got to be cut. But in the modern day, I would definitely have it uncut to the full 11 minutes. It's also got a nice bass line like My Friend of Misery does. I mean, My Friend of Misery, there's almost no competition within the entire Metallica discography for My Friend of Misery. But we gotta take what's given to us. For number 12, for the final track on the album, kind of bring us back to life, goes hard, goes quick, I wanted to put Wasting My Hate here. It's one of the shortest songs on both Load and Reload. I think if it's sped up to about 1 1/4 times the speed that it was on the actual album, it could be a good successor to The Struggle Within, you know, Dyer's Eve, Metal Militia, Damage Inc. It just works here. And in the demo, there was a cut solo. So I think if they brought back that solo, kind of sped the song up some, it would be really, really, really good as a closer. That's basically it. I had the full track list up on screen. I've had it up on screen the whole video. But if you want to check out the actual album, then I put it on Spotify. I made a playlist on Spotify for it, just called Unload. You know, the best of Reload and Load. I'll leave a link in the description for that. Thank you all for watching. This is my first long-form video for this type of content. I don't plan on just doing like Metallica stuff. I plan on doing, you know, guitar stuff and music stuff in general. So if you're interested in that, then subscribe, I guess. I don't like saying that, but thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.